this instruction does not tell me, you can tell by now I know the instructions by heart. It does not tell me to hem this. But if we look on Anita's shirt, you can see that the top is hemmed. That's my preference. So I'm going to hem it. And let me tell you what I prefer to do. I prefer to do it on the outside because it's top stitching, so I need to see it, okay? So I've made sure I'm sewing the actual hem down, but I need to sew it straight. So let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm not watching, where's my stick? I'm not watching the needle here. I'm watching the proximity of this edge to this dot. That's what makes me go straight. If I sit and stare at the needle, it's not going to be straight.
You sewed that at
So
5/8?
that's my problem.
No, this is not 5/8. This is a hem.
Hemmed it.
I had to make sure where I sewed it hit this, okay? See, so it's not, it's more like almost an inch.
So, Ms. Lynn, what you just said about watching the needle, I think that's my problem.
Yeah, you don't watch the needle, you watch where it's hitting to make sure it's straight. Now,
Okay.
this time, why am I watching this? To make sure they're the same, okay? It's more important that they be the same. All right, so there's both my pockets. Now, they're the same, I feel strongly. They need to be crispy. Good word. So now I take my front, and if I've done this properly,
Oh, crispy
it should line up right, look at that, right between those two dots.
You go.
Okay?
Wow.
And the point has hit the dart, right?
Yes. Check your woman sneeze.
It's, we're all gonna do it the same way, so don't be impressed, be inspired.
I'm
Okay,
both.
so here we go.
You do the darts with or without the pockets, right?
I'm sorry?
What?
The darts are a requirement of the garment, because it's for a woman, and no woman is built like a box.
Well,
Going very long.
All right, so now, watch this. This should work out exactly the same. Fit between those two dots and hit the dart,
Yes, Miss Lynn.
okay? So this is why we mark, this is why we cut correctly, and this is why we sew at the proper seam allowance. Because when we do, everything lines up and goes exactly where it's supposed to go, right? All right, so this is gonna make the two look the same. When I have the dart hitting the top of the pocket, there we go. So now I can pull these pins out. They're kinda in the way now.
So, Miss Lynn, is it different, do you sew pockets different when you're doing them on the pants?
They're different types of pockets. You have yoke pockets, welt pockets,
One's for
patch
hankies.
pockets. These are patch pockets. You have key pockets. You have inside the seam pockets. I mean, when you get into intermediate, we'll talk about all those different kinds of pockets,
Okay.
okay? And each one is done differently.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to start on this side. Now, let me tell you what I'm gonna do. Where's my stick? I am going to sew as close to this edge as I can. I do not want to be here and have some big flippy thing, okay? And if you look at your shirt, everything top stitched is done so on the very edge, okay? So, you see how close to the edge I am? Remember how you all did stitch in the ditch? This is 1/16 of an inch closer, and it's on the fabric. So do you see how close that is?
You will?
It's invisible. Practically, I mean.
Now, when I get to the points, I put the needle down in the point, pivot, and I don't like where that ended up. I need one more stitch to make it exactly where I want it to be. Okay, so now, all right, so there, turn. All right, so there's this pocket. Do you see it?
Yeah.
I'm like so serious.
There it is. Now again, I gotta do it again and make the other one just like it. So while I'm sewing the other one, you all can pass this one around.